Well, have you ever waved a child from a plane? How about a seatmate who may have a foul odor or a passenger who argues with the flight attendant? These are questions Congress may have to consider as they weigh a nationwide no-fly list. Right now, the bill says anyone could be banned for several offenses, including assaulting, threatening, or intimidating a crew member or a passenger aboard a flight. It's targeting unruly passengers like this and countless others who have made headlines recently for disruptive behavior on planes. But disruptive may mean different things to different people. Let's welcome our panel. Positive psychology expert and author Robert Mack and content creator Sonal Shah. So, Robert, I'll start with you. Does this feel like we're entering a tricky gray area, or is it about time we had a law to manage this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd say both. It's a complex debate, obviously. And while, safety is paramount in air travel, defining what constitutes disruptive behavior can be extraordinarily challenging. It's hard to sort of strike this balance between protecting staff and passengers from genuine threats on one hand, but not sort of unfairly penalizing individuals for minor inconveniences or subjective judgments.
Certainly. And how long do these bans last? Other questions. So, how do you address someone who may have a foul odor or someone who's clearly under the weather? Would you report them, confront them, or just kind of bite your lip and make it through?
I would bite my lip and make it through. Personally, I believe people are people, and so there is this like, where do you draw the line between somebody who doesn't smell well or someone who is too loud? I mean, this is humanity, and we're talking about public transportation. So I do believe that if somebody is initiating harm or violence or hate, that is a different situation. But I believe if somebody is smelly, I would hold my nose and take care of myself. I would put on my oxygen mask first, so to say.
I think most people would do the same, and I appreciate that perspective. So, Robert, we'll pose that question to you. Where do you draw the line? There's obviously a difference between a crying child versus an 8-year-old who's maybe misbehaving without oversight. But how do we begin that conversation?
Yeah, it's so difficult to define disruptive behavior, right? I mean, obviously what you're seeing there on the screen seems extraordinarily disruptive, but on the other hand, it's like, is a crying baby disruptive? Is an emotional support dog being disruptive? And so sort of defining disruptive behavior is the first piece. The second piece is, if it does feel like it's disruptive, then the question is, do you address it with the airline? Do you address it with the authorities? Or do you just address it with the flight attendant? And there's a way to do all of that in a diplomatic sort of approach and sort of tactfully. But it's a really slippery slope, right? Because at some point, some things that bother someone don't bother someone else, and they feel like it's disruptive and they should write a letter to the CEO. And there are other folks that feel like, that's just part of the experience that you expect to have when you travel.
So you mentioned animals, and I think that's a really fascinating point. Sonal, do you think these new regulations may cover comfort animals on planes in the future?
I mean, once again, if the being is inciting violence or harm, then yes, I believe that. But I'm not sure about it being government related, because ultimately I feel like isn't this putting more of a divide on people and beings? Isn't that what we're trying to not have? We want to, if people are people, what qualifies, do we want to make these animals robots? Do we want to make these people robots? Like, what qualifies, one good versus bad and evil versus good, unless it is, yes, inherently evil. And it's very obvious, I think, to everyone.
I agree with you. A lot more questions than answers with this one, I'd have to say. So let's move on to more with our furry friends, pets. Should paid pet bereavement be a thing? Nearly half of Americans think it should be. That's according to a new poll. But perhaps unsurprisingly, there is a generational divide here. Most baby boomers say no way, while younger generations say their pets are their family. So Sonal, does that surprise you? And what happened between generations to make us think so differently about this?
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't surprise me at all. I think that there is a divide in terms of social awareness and social consciousness in terms of mental health. There's a world where people grew up in a society where we were kind of taught to suppress it and suppress emotions. But I also want to ask that if we get time off for pet bereavement, can we also get time off for a breakup or for a divorce? These are all things that, or maybe we get the time off and maybe it's unpaid, but we're not going to get penalized by it.
I hear you.
off. Yeah.
No, I hear you, Sonal. So we've got about 10 seconds left. Robert, are you for or against this?
Oh my goodness. I'm for general policies that allow people to take off equal amounts of time, regardless of why they want to take it off. So that probably doesn't answer the question exactly that you want, and exactly the way you want me to answer it. But I would say I'm for people getting time off to take care of their loved ones.
All right, no wrong or right here. Robert Mack and Sonal Shah, thank you for being with us. A great conversation.